You are watching the Weekly Brief, and how can we have this episode of Weekly Brief without discussing the biggest story of the week, apart from Prime Minister Modi turning 75, and that is what happened on the cricket field. And what happened off it, the controversy surrounding the India versus Pakistan cricket match at the Asia Cup. Lots of pressure on the government to ensure that this match does not happen. So many people wanting this match to be completely cancelled. And then now we're having this conversation at a time when we've been through the boycott drama of Pakistan at the Asia Cup, landing up hour and a half late for the match, last minute negotiations, but making a U-turn and playing the match. It's been farcical, so to speak, isn't it? First of all, let's talk about the cricket match. A proper drubbing and no handshake. That really hurt Pakistan, didn't it?
Well, I think, cricket is a gentleman's game, but, this was said about 70 years ago or 100 years ago. The whole mindset, society has moved from, that gentleman's spirit, unfortunately, to a rather very, very, business-like transactional approach. Now, two ideas. Should India play or not play?
Yeah.
India took the stage and played, gave them a drubbing on the cricket field. Yeah. Off-field, I don't think there could have been a bigger opportunity of conveying to the whole world the Pahalgam, tragedy and the complicity of Pakistan as a terror state. If we had not gone and played that match and had not an occasion to do the post-match press conference, I'm sorry, I'm a completely divergent view on this to many of my esteemed friends in the media. Who would have? This is great statecraft. This is diplomacy, and someone might call it propaganda. But we have an enemy who is only propaganda. So in that sense, I think we got the stage and the world to recognize. And if Suryakumar is accused of not being sportsman and putting country first, everybody, 1.4 billion people should put country first. That is only how we will go forward. So no crime done by, he's done the country proud by mentioning.
Okay, we'll take it one at a time. Should we have played? Should we have not played? Let's first settle that debate and then move forward.
Well, if you are really serious about, sending a message to Pakistan, then I don't think we should have played at all.
Okay.
Yeah, because coming on the heels of this heinous, killing in Pahalgam. But, Krishna, the driving force here is not diplomacy, but, commercial consideration. Okay. Cricket is one of the largest sporting spectacles in the world, especially when India and Pakistan are playing. There's so much money riding on a spectacle like India-Pakistan match. As we know, BCCI, the richest cricketing body in the world, IPL is now, I think, worth some $18 billion in terms of the business of it. The brand itself is worth some $4 billion.
Second most worthy.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot of commercial consideration.
Would not have cost us.
So this is not a stage for diplomacy in that sense.
That's fine.
While the Indian captain made it into a an occasion.
That's the right thing to do. But, if we would not have played, we would not have lost any money. I think this commercial argument is far-fetched.
But the India-Pakistan is a special conflagration that happens on the cricket field.
That gives money to the organizers, which is not in this case,
if I may,
BCCI.
Exactly, but that's the property that gets hurt.
Just if I may, let me put my 50 cents. My 50 cents. I thought this whole thing about India playing this match or this particular tournament, Asia Cup, was about India's ambition to host the Olympics.
Absolutely. There is multilateral, tie-ups in terms of sporting events versus bilateral. So if India has an ambition which is stated at the level of the Prime Minister, if you boycott multilateral tournaments, then we have a problem. We will not qualify in terms of credentials to host a bigger event of the size of Olympics. And second, there's a stated position that we will not play them bilaterally. We will not play them, outside of a neutral venue. So both have been met, and we'll beat them.
Yeah. Okay. So not having Pakistan in, let's say, an Olympic Games kind of a setup, it really doesn't matter. But when it comes to cricket, I know what you're saying, that it's a precondition to host it. I get that. But I'm saying that when it comes to cricket, it's an especial enmity between India and Pakistan, and that makes for great spectacle. So
but there
I'm sure there are other considerations.
8-2 drubbing over the last decade.
Yeah.
It was 6-0, it's now 8-2. Yeah. So it's no longer that hot.
My only thing while watching all of that was because in the past, you had the US boycotting an entire Olympics because it was held in Russia. Russia doing that to the US. North Korea doing that to the Seoul Olympics in South Korea. So countries, the most developed of countries, have actually placed national interest above sport and boycotted an event no less than Olympics. So how big is the Asia Cup really?
No, that's okay. You choose the path. Messaging is the end outcome is most important.
And this was a neutral ground.
Yeah,
I mean, we
and
were playing in
outcome-
Dubai,
and
so it's not
outcome
as
has
if we
been
went
met.
to Pakistan and played this
and
match.
the end outcome has been met. We made the message loud and clear.
Okay.
And most importantly, also, it's not, there's a precedent. Pakistani cricketers serving, retired, and some of their most flamboyant cricketers like Shahid Afridi has abused India,
Yeah.
have abused India on Kashmir. Suryakumar didn't say a word about Balochistan
Correct.
or Pakistan.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
beaten them hands down on the ground and beaten them hands off, hands down outside in the match.
And
press
let's not
conference.
forget,
He only
Suryakumar
praises
is
his armed
also,
forces.
Rakesh, he's not just the captain, but also an individual. I think he, at some level, is entitled to how he feels about, Pakistani players.
Yeah.
And we should not seize any opportunity to praise our armed forces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it is in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or Timbuktu, do it. Do it.
I only felt bad for Mr. Andy Pycroft, who got caught in the storm and went off. He had nothing.
But-
I did what I was told to, and then there was talks that he apologized, and the ICC said no, he apologized for the miscommunication, not for what actually happened.
That's
I mean,
right.
spare a moment, spare a thought for Andy Pycroft, Rakesh.
Yeah, poor guy. But,
But
he's still,
ICC got his back anyway,
yeah,
so
but
it's
he's
fine, yeah.
adjudicating it. He hasn't lost his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he hasn't
That
lost his job.
Pakistan wanted that to happen.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
he
So
should
that's
be
again,
accepted.
it's a drubbing for Pakistan. I'm sorry to say. I'm
And
very
it-
happy with that.
Yeah, exactly. And in that sense, to me, I thought it got better for India with the way Pakistan conducted itself at
That's
the
right.
Asia
Yeah,
Cup.
that's right.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you ask me, ICC should have penalized Pakistan. And they should have been, ICC should use that as a precedent to ensure that no team pulls a stunt like Pakistan did at this Asia
Well,
Cup.
and
Yeah, that's true.
the Pakistan got exposed first on the fact that they, you converted this handshake into a huge challenge. Fair enough. It's a custom. It's not a must. It's not a mandatory thing. It's
They
not
can't
part
give
of
an
the.
ultimatum
And then
saying that, like,
delaying the match by 1 hour for
Yeah.
the
No, you can't give an ultimatum to the ICC saying you fire the match referee, otherwise we are not going to play, we're going to
Yeah.
exit. I mean, who does that?
I mean, Pakistan's own track record off field, there was a terror attack on cricketers in Pakistan
Correct.
itself.
Yeah.
They always
Yeah.
say no
Absolutely.
cricket was played in Pakistan.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let them wash their backyard.
Yeah.
Going forward, how do you think it's going to work out? Because let's face it, one is that there is going to be more ICC tournaments. Asia Cup won't be the last ICC tournament, and this entire cricket diplomacy, we've gone back and forth on it a fair bit, and there needs to be more consistency in terms of policy. Especially, I mean, if we can use a line in the sand like Pahalgam and Operation Sindhu, and use that as a precedent to the way we're going to be dealing with Pakistan, on any sporting field, because. There is also the face-off between Neeraj Chopra and Arshad Nadeem in the javelin finals as
That's
well.
right.
This is going to keep happening across sporting events.
Correct.
No,
So-
well, I mean,
Yeah, so like Rakesh said, there will be sports, there will be international events where it's a multilateral kind of an engagement, where I don't think India loses anything by having Pakistan as one of the teams that you compete against. But I guess to get into a sport which is like really watched for these two countries, I think that's avoidable to my mind, given that this was really barbaric killing that happened, and it just happened recently. So I think we should have sent a message to Pakistan saying that this is not something you want to do.
I'm zooming out of the field and taking India-Pakistan relationship, aligning it to Viksit Bharat. See, we have a huge challenge. What has happened overnight, the Saudi-Pakistan defense agreement, where, we felt we are very close to Saudi, and we made huge advances under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, the personal bonhomie. But this defense agreement, I haven't read the fine print. It looks like, if you attack one country, it is seen as attack on both the countries.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which puts
That's
India in a
very-
quandary.
Yeah.
And, the geopolitical, the geo-economic situation, Prime Minister Modi in 2014, when he came, he talked about Neighbourhood First. The irony for us today is that despite that intent, we have a huge challenge. Nepal is in turmoil, Bangladesh is in turmoil. They're claiming to hold the election soon, which we never know is how soon or never. And, Sri Lanka just barely recovered. So we have a challenge. Viksit Bharat 2047 mandates that our neighborhood is calm and settled.
Yeah,
An unsettled neighborhood will drain India's political and economic energy.
So it is part of the whole geopolitical equation, right? There are countries that don't want our neighborhood to be peaceful,
Yeah.
right?
And we know the
they don't
forces
want
at
a
play.
Viksit Bharat as well. So I think it's part of the larger global diplomacy.
Yeah.
India has to navigate its way through this.
So, we'll have to, the narrative war with Pakistan, we beaten them, in the typical defense or military parlance, but narrative war, we still have to really work our, piece together. I think post-Sindoor, I hope we got some learning. We did, I would imagine, didn't have, a 100% scorecard, not even a 75% scorecard. While as on the field, it was a 100% scorecard. But that's a challenge with Pakistan because, the whole world is looking at India And the big challenge that US brought in under Trump is that, there was dehyphenation between India and Pakistan. And India had moved this level. That dehyphenation has been removed. We are back again in the same bracket. So we have many challenges, and neighborhood, settled, calm, cool. India playing a constructive role of a leader is something which is intrinsically aligned and important to the success of Viksit Bharat Mission 2047.
Yeah, I think, well, that's nice to have, but I think we'll still have to defocus that bit to the economy, because ultimately there's no guarantee that we'll have a peaceful neighborhood. But we need an economy which is going to be developed, which is like moving towards a higher income, first world income level economy. So I think despite these challenges, we have to focus on our economy, which, and someone was talking to me about, how much, Pakistan also imports oil from Russia, but, it's being given a free pass. But, the amount of oil that Pakistan imports in 1 year is what we import in a day from Russia. So I mentioned that to show the scope of the economy.
Yeah, but neighborhood is a factor in China. So I was mentioning neighborhood from the perspective of China. But China is deeply invested in the
that
neighborhood.
Is a bigger
That's
issue
a bigger challenge, because that has implication both politically and economically for India.
Big challenges lie ahead, but as the famous Chinese saying goes, we are living in interesting times. I'm afraid we're completely out of time here with that on this edition of the Weekly Brief. Rakesh, Shri, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here. And with that, it's a wrap here from my side. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.